Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Ines Kitchen, and today I'll be teaching you how to make the most delicious moist chocolate cake. So if you're interested in this, please stay tuned and I'll be right back. Welcome back. So today we'll be making the ultimate chocolate cake. So we're going to start with 200 grams of butter, 2 cups of sugar. We're going to allow this to mix until the butter doubles in size. So unlike my vanilla cake recipe, which is on my channel, we're not really going for an extremely smooth mixture, but we just want to mix the butter and sugar until it doubles in size, and then we start alternating between our wet and dry ingredients. Talking about our wet ingredients, we are going in with our eggs. So we are going to put it at a time. Just put in some of the wet ingredients and then alternate with the dry ingredients. So very important when you are mixing your cake batter that you scrape the sides and the bottom of your bowl, just to ensure that everything is properly mixed. So I've put in the last eggs and I'm going in with some vegetable oil. So now the vegetable oil will give the cake that moisture, that softness. Is really going to help with that. Okay, I'm going to add cocoa powder. Catastrophe. Yes, I tried adding it when the mixer was at a very high speed. I had to clean up everything. I tried it again and I had the cocoa powder dust flying everywhere, so I had to mix it and then turn on the mixer again. I had to mix it by hand and then turn on the mixer again. So this is our dry ingredients. Flour. In it I've added our baking powder and our baking soda. So this is about 2.5 cups of flour. So I'm not going to make the mistake I made earlier, so I don't have to start cleaning up again. I'm just going to add it little by little and alternate it with our wet ingredients. I'm adding milk at this point, and then adding the flour in bits, once beaten twice shy. I don't want this to happen again. And then I have my mixer on the lowest speed. Earlier on I had it on the highest speed, and that's why I had that incident with the cocoa powder. So it's on the lowest speed and I'm adding it little by little. I'm adding cinnamon, powdered cinnamon. I like cinnamon in my cakes, all of my cakes actually, with a few exceptions, maybe like coconut cake. I don't add cinnamon to that. So we're adding our vanilla. It's very important. Even if this is a chocolate cake, we're making a light chocolate sponge cake, so the cocoa powder is not going to be so pronounced in it. Just that's why we used about a cup. So we're going to also be using this special ingredient, which is hot coffee. Now if you know your chocolate cake, you know that warm or hot water helps to bloom the chocolate cake, but this time around we're using coffee, hot coffee, not too hot, just a little bit above being warm. Then I'm going to add my milk flavor. I like adding milk flavor to my cakes. If you're in Nigeria, you know what milk flavor is. So aside the little milk I added, which I used about half a cup, so aside the milk that I used earlier on, I used one sachet of milk flavor. So there we have it. This butter is really decadent. It's a very delicious cake butter, and I'm just going to bake this for about 40 minutes in my oven. And while that is baking, I'm making a chocolate ganache. So now for my chocolate ganache, I'm using dark chocolate cake. I said earlier on that we are using a light chocolate sponge. The cocoa powder is not so much, so it's not so pronounced, it's not so deep, but it's going to come out really nice. So I'm using a dark chocolate cake. So the bitterness from the dark chocolate cake is going to go really well with the light chocolate sponge cake. So I'm going to show you how we're going to make the ganache. So I have butter, I have the chocolate, and now I have my pot of hot water. We're using what we call a double boiler method. So here you have your chocolate, butter, about 30 grams of butter. We have our milk, I added a pinch of salt, and for that extra flavor you can add like a teaspoon of vanilla flavor to it. So we have put this over our boiling water. You can do this over a stove or your gas, but I just put really hot water in a pot so that I can show you, and then you keep mixing it until everything is smooth. So here is our light sponge cake, and now we are going to be adding our beautiful chocolate ganache. You can see that when you leave it at room temperature, it gives you this nice chocolate paste. So you can cut off the top of the cake, but I'm going to leave it because we're eating this at home. So that's our lovely chocolate ganache. I would advise that when you do your ganache, don't put it in the fridge or freezer, especially when you want to use it immediately. It hardens really fast, and then you have to melt it again. So that happens to me. So leave it at room temperature, let it cool down, and then you have this beautiful chocolate ganache to work with. So spread it evenly around your cake. Try and put a generous amount to fill the middle of your cake, and then you take some and use it at the sides of the cake. So now I'm putting the second layer. When I divided my batter, I had 2 layers of cake. So the thing about this cake is, because of the oil, vegetable oil in it can start to break. That's to show you how soft and fragile it is. It's really moist, so be careful when you are putting it. Put a generous amount again on top, and just begin to spread it evenly around the cake, and then the sides. Don't forget the sides of the cake. So we're not doing anything fancy. We're not trying to be extremely precise with how we are covering our cake with this ganache, because I'm doing this as a weekend snack. So the thing about this cake is that it's great for holiday seasons, Christmas seasons, any of the holiday seasons. Is great when you want to entertain guests and you want to make something on your own, and it's great for a weekend snack. Trust me, my entire family enjoyed this. This is just for us at home. So nothing fancy, but homemade, original, and simply delicious. If you like recipes like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the like button. It really goes a long way.